There's nothing worse than spending months planning a trip and researching locations, booking flights and logistics, and finally driving and/or hiking out with the highest expectations only to be rewarded with a cloudy and overcast sunrise or sunset. Challenging conditions can make you want to throw in the towel, seeing as you won't be getting that epic golden hour composition that you may have seen on social media. But what if you frame this as a challenge rather than a failure? It's well known that out of limitations comes creativity, so let's go to Chris on location at Volcanoes National Park for some solutions to these kinds of situations.
So sometimes you're on location, like I am on this one, and we have the sunrise here, we got a little bit of color, there was a little bit less earlier, and so I was kind of contemplating my options on what should I do for my composition, because usually you want a nice golden, orange sky, afterburn, pre-burn, whether you're shooting sunset or sunrise, and you have colors to work with. But when you don't, and you have a location like this, you start to look down. You look around, you look anywhere other than the sky, and try to see what your options are. In a location like this is in Volcanoes National Park. We have these amazing, just abstract lava flows, leading lines everywhere. There's compositions to be made. So what I would do in this situation is include less of the sky, focus more on the ground, focus more on the leading lines. We have these trees that we can make pop a little bit in post, you know, make it more of a green pop against the black background of the lava. And just get creative and look for anything where you can minimize the sky, or maybe cut out the sky entirely and just get a close-up of the ground. Whatever you can do, but when you're in a situation like this, the weather is not going to be in your control, and you just have to get creative with it and work with the elements that you have.
In this photo, I focus stacked for the amazing textures of the lava and only included a sliver of the cloudy sky. Making the photo black and white reduces the distraction of color when it isn't particularly adding to the scene. The sun eventually rose, and the occasional rain showers helped give this composition a moody glow, which was further accentuated with some Orton blur effect. Once again, using the lava textures and some dodging and burning really leads your eye through this composition. Let's go to Chris on location at Laupahoho Point for some more tips.
So once again, I found myself in one of these no color sunrise, nothing really much going on with the clouds, a couple of rain showers coming through, really disruptive to the time lapses and the photos I'm trying to take here. So as in the last situation, you have to get a little bit creative. So what I started doing was increase the shutter speed, bump up the ISO, kind of like a sports photography mode, and start shooting towards these cliffs behind me, where we have these large rogue waves coming through every now and then, and you just have to time it right, and you can get some cool sort of action shots. Just making the most of this morning since we're here. I did shoot some long expos. We'll see how those came out, but what was really starting to look good to me, at least on the back of the camera, were these fast shutter, large wave splash shots.
Looking through the photos later, I was still on the fence with my results shooting at fast shutter speeds, and in some ways I preferred the longer exposure shots, partially because of the wider composition. Let's go to Chris on location at Waimea Canyon for advice on shooting moody close-up photos with a longer focal length.
Another moody sunrise here, this time in Waimea Canyon in Kauai. Really nothing going on. It was raining for most of the actual sunrise, and now the sun is fairly up, as it were. So what I'm actually doing is I have a crop sensor camera, Sony a6300, with a 18-105 lens, and I'm just taking little zoom detail shots of these magnificent mountain valley structures here. They call this the Hawaiian Grand Canyon, and it's very easy to see with the expansive canyon here and very signature lava valley-like structures. We got a mix of green and the browns. Really no light to really make that pop, but we're going to play with that in post. And we got this nice waterfall down here. So I'm getting close-up shots of the peaks, the different structures. There's some low-hanging clouds or fog down here, and just kind of seeing what we can get. There's like layers of fog as you go further into the distance, and making these little minimalist compositions out of a crappy day like this is really all you can do.
Low-hanging fog in this situation definitely added to the atmosphere of these shots. As it moved throughout the valley, I was able to pick out interesting minimalist style compositions and find patterns in the repetitive shapes of the canyon walls. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and will find a new way of looking at a scene the next time you're in the field and the atmospheric conditions aren't conducive to the golden hour money shots we all seek to capture for our portfolios. Be sure to like and subscribe for more photography tutorials and travel content.